We are finally receiving a Havoc DPS. In 2 weeks, Camellya, the newest Havoc main DPS basic attacker, will be coming, and if you plan to pull for her, which I'm assuming everyone will be, then this video will cover everything you need to know to prepare for her banner. Firstly, here are all the materials you'll need to completely max her out. Pause if you need to, and for those who don't know, you get Topological Confinement from the Fallacy boss, Nova Flowers from Tethys Deep right here, and of course Dreamless Feathers from the Dreamless boss. Alright, let's get into her weapon options. Camellya is a sword user, and her signature will be her general best in slot. It provides many insane buffs. However, Emerald and Genesis perform almost as well, which means if you have it, then use it. Otherwise, Chang'Li's signature is decent. It's better than all the other 4 stars, but it is the worst 5-star option. And for the 4 stars, Lumen Gloss will be the best, but it is a battle pass weapon, so if you're free to play, then your best option will be Commando of Conviction, with Lunar Cutter being a last resort option. Next up, her Echoes. So of course, she wants the Havoc set. Nothing comes close to its performance. With a cost spread of 43311, the main stats to farm for will be crit rate, crit damage, either double Havoc damage or 1 Havoc 1 attack %. If you have her signature weapon, then that does seem to perform a little bit better, but it ultimately comes down to the substats. And then lastly, double attack %. For her substats, you want to prioritize crit rate and crit damage first, attack % second, energy regen third, and then either basic attack damage bonus or liberation bonus lastly. Now that we're done with her, let's see who she works well with. Again, she is a main DPS, Havoc basic attacker mainly, so her best hyper carry comp will be Sanhua and Shorekeeper. In the future, we will definitely be getting a dedicated basic attack buffer for Camellya, but for now, Sanhua is the best. Besides that comp though, you can replace Shorekeeper with Farina or even Baiji, and instead of Sanhua, you can use Danjin for a massive Havoc damage amp or Havoc Rover for a useful Havoc resistance shred. Other than that though, the only teammates that will do anything will be liberation buffers with good personal damage like Yinlin or Chang'Li. They're just overall good teammates in general. Finally, all that we're left with are her sequence nodes. Let's see if they're worth pulling for. So S1, casting intro skill Ever Blooming Flower or outro skill Twinning additionally recovers 18% Crimson Pistols. Dealing damage with basic attacks increases crit damage by 1 for 0.2%, and this can be triggered once per second up to 10% crit damage. So this is pretty useful. It has decent utility for an S1. Overall, it'll be about a 10% damage increase in general, so it's okay to go for. And whether or not you should go for her S1 or weapon, you should go for her signature. It definitely provides a lot more value than her S1. S2, the damage multiplier of her resonant skill is increased by 120%. Okay, so this sequence node is okay. It's not the greatest. It really only buffs her skill a ton, provide a little bit of a damage boost, but it's nothing too crazy. It does not provide that much of an increase in her overall rotation damage. S3, the damage multiplier of her liberation is increased by 50%. When in budding mode, her attack is increased by 58%. Okay, so this is a pretty massive damage increase for her liberation, which is a good chunk of her damage. This is about a 25% damage increase to her overall rotations. It's pretty decent. S4, casting her Ever Blooming Flower gives all team members 25% basic attack damage for 30 seconds. So this does apply to her as well. So she is giving herself 25% basic attack damage for 30 seconds, which is a decent stat boost. Overall, this will get you about 10% more damage over S3. It's nice, but it's not too crazy. It does provide a little bit of utility to your teammates as well though. S5 is increased by 68%. Overall, it's not that much of an increase. This is probably her worst sequence node. And then S6, the damage multiplier of Sweet Dream in her Forte circuit is additionally increased by 150%. Her skill Perennial, within 15 seconds after casting Ephemeral, if Concerto energy reaches 100, Camellya can consume 50 Concerto energy to cast Perennial. Casting the skill recovers 50 Crimson Pistols and puts Camellya into budding mode, and this can happen once every 25 seconds. So this is a massive damage increase. I think it buffs her almost 2x the damage that she would normally be doing. It of course is completely broken. Her numbers just are absolutely insane at S6, and as usual just breaks the character completely.